This is a very gentle supine practice for your menstrual phase. It's also a great practice to use during your late luteal phase when you start to feel a bit of a dip in energy and maybe you have some symptoms of PMS arising. In this practice, we will be on our backs and our bellies the entire time. So it's a very gentle, very grounding and restorative practice. This one is a bit longer so that we can access the hips and the backs of the legs and kind of target the muscles in a more gentle way. So it comes in about 45 minutes long. I recommend for this practice, if you have them, to bring a block. It's great if you have two. We have an opportunity for a supported rest at the end that can benefit from having two blocks. It's also great if you have a blanket that you can roll up at the end. And if you have one, a strap, but don't sweat it if you don't have a strap. You can use a belt or a towel, anything to give you sort of just an elongation of the limbs so that you can reach the legs and some of the supine stretches that we'll be doing for the backs of the legs today. This one is a great practice for the menstrual phase when our hormones are at their lowest levels. So there's less interference with the connection between left and right brain. So we are more connected between kind of our pragmatic and sensitive side. So it's a great opportunity for self-reflection, to really acknowledge anything that's coming up for you from the previous cycle, anything that might be weighing on you. This is a good opportunity to bring it to the surface for a bit of analysis, and not in the sense that we're overthinking, but really just that we have a clearer perspective with that channel of communication open between the sides of the brain. So it can help a bit of the fog clear around maybe a decision that you're trying to make, or something that's been weighing on you a little bit. So get yourself set up, grab your props, anything that you need to be comfortable, wear something really cozy, and let's get started with today's movement practice. We'll get started today lying down on the back. So just start to make your way there nice and slowly. So no rush in any part of this sequence. It's all about kind of slowing things down, encouraging the downward flow of energy in the body. Give yourself a moment to arrive here. We'll create a deep connection to the breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Last one, big inhale. And sigh. So the breath at times can be the greatest antidote to any stress we might be feeling, particularly in this phase of the cycle. So keep that here, that deep belly breath, letting the diaphragm descend completely and flush all the air out. As you're ready, hug your knees to your chest. Gently rock side to side, as best as you can, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And just kind of massaging the low back here, the sacrum. And then take your hands to your knees. Just begin to circle the knees out and away and then back. So you might find throughout this practice that it's nice to keep the eyes closed or the gaze soft, depending on the time of day that you're practicing. So we want to move in a way that is gentle, but one that allows you to circulate a bit of energy. Let the knees come wide apart and together. And then as you're ready, release your feet to the earth. They can be a bit away from your sitting bones, so nice gentle bend in the knees here. And then take your elbows overhead, so opposite elbows overhead. Just feel that stretch in the shoulders, the armpits, and notice if you tend to shrug the shoulders here. Can you soften them away from the ears? So again, the idea here to keep the body relaxed as we move. Begin to windshield wiper the knees from one side to the other. And if you can, as you breathe, try to match the rhythm of the movement to your breath. So let your breath be your guide, let it be your teacher. Finding that there's not really any hard edges to the movement or to the breath. One flows into the next. And the next time that your knees are lowered to the right, keep them here. You can release your left arm high, keep your right hand grasping around the left elbow, and just find a bit of a side body stretch. Really anchor the inner left knee down to the mat. You can wiggle and move however it feels good here. Notice here, can you inflate the belly with breath? You might even feel a bit of a deeper stretch there as you open the lungs, let them expand. Switch sides now, let the legs lower to the left, pause here, extend your right arm long. And let your left hand find your right elbow. Again here, just using that left hand to help stretch the right side body. Inner right knee anchors to the mat. And each step of the way here, just becoming curious, becoming open to anything your body might be trying to tell you. And then come back through center as you're ready. Parallel the legs once again. Let your arms rest down by your sides. So we'll be connecting breath with movement here. As you inhale, begin to lift the hips and let your arms circle overhead. See if you can match the upper and lower body movement together. So inhaling up, exhaling, gently touch down. Inhale, create that arc through the sky. Gentle press through the heels to lift the hips and lower down. Matching the breath here. So as you inhale, filling up the lungs all the way, and then exhaling, letting them empty completely. Last two here. Inhale and exhale. So in these slower moving meditations, it can be a breathwork practice as well. As you place equal attention on the breath, rest here. Let the knees sway from side to side once again. Then here we'll take the arms, cross your right arm under left, and reach for your shoulder blades. So kind of crawl your fingertips under the shoulders. And imagine like you're finding that perfect finger hold as a rock climber, really broadening the shoulder blades apart. And then hug the knees into the chest, cross your right leg over left. So it's loose eagle legs here. So just letting that cross happen in the upper thighs, but letting the feet stay free for a moment here. As you inhale, gently lower the legs to the earth. And then exhale, draw them back in toward the elbows, keeping the upper body completely relaxed. So the belly just activating a bit here to support us in our posture through this practice. Even though we're in a supine position, just keeping that integration of the belly and the spine. So just in and out here. And last one like this. And let the knees hug in. Reach for the outer edges of both feet. So taking cow-faced pose or gomukhasana. And depending on how your hips are feeling, you might have the heels very close to your sitting bones. You might move them a bit further away. You might add a gentle rock from side to side. Just beginning to awaken the outer hips. Creating a bit of activation, inner thighs to the midline to Support the knees here, so as best as you can, keeping the feet flexed so that we're not putting any strain on the knee joint. Again, maintaining that fluid breath. Let it circulate and nourish your whole body. And release the hands here. And you can let your feet come back down to the mat, parallel the legs. And this time we'll cross left arm under the right. Finding that same clasp now, just with the alternate cross. So reaching for your shoulder blades, broadening them apart. And letting the outer arms stretch. You might even feel this in the inner shoulders a bit. And then lifting the legs here, left leg crosses over right. So in loose eagle legs here, just letting the feet lower down. And on the exhale, they draw back in. Just creating some awareness of the low belly here. So again, try to smooth the hard edges of the movement. So letting the feet maybe very gently touch down. But as soon as they touch down, they're turning and flowing back. Start to feel a bit of a pull of your awareness inside. And this time in the cycle is a perfect opportunity for reflection. Taking a retrospective look at the cycle that has just passed. Release your arms here. Find outer edges of both feet. Taking cow face pose, Gomukhya on this side. Same thing here, just allowing the body to rock and sway a bit. Maybe moving the heels further away and then closer together. You can even move the knees away from your belly and then back in. So the sequence just designed to create a bit of mobility in the hips, some space in the spine, just to be very grounding. So it's okay to let the body feel heavy. Really give the weight of your body to gravity. And then release the legs here. You can let the feet come down, and we'll reach for one of your blocks. Have it by your side so that it's handy, and your strap or your towel, your belt. And we'll begin on the right side here. So we'll keep the left foot grounded. Begin to hug your right knee into your chest. And then reaching for the back of your right thigh, begin to bicycle that leg. So extending it out, up, and back. So just creating some mobility in the hip joint here. Out and back. You can even take it out to the sides if that feels good. And then reverse the direction maybe. You might bring a hand to your belly just to help with that grounding. Or if you're finding any menstrual cramps, any low back sensation, just adding the warmth of your hands can help here. And then keep your right leg extending. So if you don't have a strap, you might just keep your hands on the back of the right thigh. If you do have a strap, you can take the center of your strap and wrap it around the ball mound of your foot. So really wanting that firm connection there of the foot to the strap. So around the ball mound, not around the center of the foot, but closer to the toes. Roll your shoulders back and down so that they can stay relaxed. Press through the inner edge of your foot until it's level with the outer edge of your foot. Spread the toes wide. Move the right inner thigh toward your left big toe. So we've got internal rotation here. Add a nice gentle bend in the knee to create that grip in the strap. And then keep that as you slowly start to straighten the leg any amount. So it might be a little, it might be a lot. And then with the strap, take an inhale breath. As you exhale, gently invite the leg a bit closer. Press the heel skyward. Can you engage the front of the right thigh? And as we activate the quadricep there, the front of the leg, that signals to the body, okay, that the back of the leg can release, can relax. So really taking kind of a more integrated approach to stretching the backs of the legs here. Big full breaths. This posture is great for low back as well. It can alleviate any strain you might be feeling there. And notice if you're gripping the strap very tightly, can you soften that a bit, loosen it a bit so that you're not exerting more effort than is necessary. So really just using the strap for stability and to kind of add some length to the limbs so that you're not having to strain. If it feels good in your body, you can extend the left leg long, creating a bit of separation between the thigh bones. We'll take one more very big breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Can loosen the strap just a bit here. And then we'll come into half happy baby. So it might be nice to keep that left knee bent. If it feels okay, you can extend it long. So for half happy baby, we're going to take the knee out to the side and aim the top of your right thigh towards the outside of your rib cage. So the outer right ribs. And if it's too much to keep the strap, you can always ditch the strap and just reach for the inner or outer edge of your foot. And as you encourage the right thigh down to the mat, can you dial your pubic bone toward the floor? So kind of an anterior tilt, a forward tilt in the pelvis. So we've got that action working, and then we're dialing the right thigh back. So really stretching across the pelvic floor, creating space in the groin, releasing the root lock. So think the opposite of a Kegel contraction. You're wanting to create space and flow in the pelvic floor. So really find a sense of expansion there. And from here, with your strap, start to turn your toes toward the top right corner of your mat, kind of towards your shoulder. And then any amount, begin to straighten that right leg. So this is where the strap can be very, very handy. You can extend the strap long so that you can sort of let your right leg be suspended. Find a position that is sustainable, but one that creates quite a bit of sensation in the inner thighs, the inner legs. You can turn the big toe down toward the earth just to create a bit of a different stretch. And then as you feel the weight of your right leg sort of pulling your pelvis to the right, can you send your left foot, left knee out to the side and really anchor the left foot? So like you're trying to ground the left hip. Last big breath here. And slowly, gentle bend in the knee as you come back through center. You can release the strap, cross your right ankle over left knee. And we'll come into figure 4. Use your hand to dial the right knee open. And notice that there's kind of a progression in all of these stretches. So the initial sensation can create a bit of resistance where the body's saying that's too intense, let's dial it back. So as you hit that edge, that intuitive edge, can you Can you feel it? Can you honor it? And then breathe a bit deeper to move past it, to move through it, to find your next intuitive edge. And we sort of iterate this process as we go through. That's what I love about these slower restorative practices is you can literally carve out space in the body and get into places that require a bit of preparation, a bit of iteration. So notice that here as you encourage the right shin, the right leg closer to your belly. Can you feel that initial reaction, that initial resistance? And then with a breath, can you move through? Slowly releasing now, and just letting your feet rest for a breath or two so that you can experience the difference from left to right now. And as we transition to the second side, you can stay as you are and just move to the second side. I am going to switch the other way just to create a bit of space so that I don't run into the wall here. So letting the feet rest. We'll move into the left side now. Hug your left knee into your chest. And then finding the back of the thigh as you straighten the left leg long and begin to bicycle that leg. So keeping the right foot stable and strong. And just create nice wide circles with the left leg here. For me, what comes up immediately is the difference from left to right. So you can already sort of feel the left side a bit tighter, a bit more stubborn. And the next time that your leg is extended, we'll find the strap here. Again, wrapping the strap around the ball mount of the foot. Start to rotate the inner left thigh toward your right big toe. Find internal rotation. And press the inner edge of your left foot skyward until it's level with the knife edge, so with the outer edge. Find a grip in your strap that is solid but also relaxed. And let your shoulders soften to the mat. Engage the top of your left thigh. Press the heel toward the sky. Letting the hips stay level here with every inhale, lengthening the left leg skyward. And then as you exhale, encouraging it toward your body. So again, this iterative process, acknowledging, honoring when you feel your body find that edge where it says, this is where I stop. And maybe you stay there and breathe. Or maybe you wait for the next wave of softening to move a bit deeper into the stretch. We'll be here a few more breaths, just opening the back of the left leg. And again, moving deeper into self-reflection. This is a time in the cycle where left and right brain are more connected. With a dip in hormones, there's not as much interference. So we can find head and heart might be in alignment. We can make more sense of our emotions. Start to release the stretch ever so slightly, preparing for half happy baby. So letting the knee bend out to the side, keeping that left foot flexed. You can take your arm to the inside and encourage the top of the left thigh down on the mat beside you. So nice and wide here. And if you find that the strap is just a bit too complicated, you can ditch it here and just find the inner or outer edge of your foot. Really press through the right foot to keep the hips level. And then move the pubic bone toward the ground, so tilt the pelvis forward. Finding separation between the thigh bones as you move the right knee out to the side, left knee in the opposite direction. Last very big breath here. And then we'll slowly release. So if you have your strap still, you can start to turn the left big toe toward the earth and aim your foot towards the left corner of your mat, top left corner of your mat. And then any amount, begin to straighten that left leg long. Open it out to the side. Again, leveling the hip points as best as you can. And just finding that place that you can sustain for several breaths without strain. So without the strap here, you might just be holding the big toe side of the foot or the knife edge of the foot. You might have a deeper bend in the knee. Any variation here that allows you to create space in the inner thigh. You can start to turn the left toes down toward the earth and then move the heel up skyward. We'll be here 2 more very deep breaths. Let's slowly begin to come out. And you can release your strap off to the side. And then cross your left ankle over your right knee. And slowly encourage that shape toward your body. You might reach for the back of the right thigh or the right shin. You can even take your right hand to your left foot and your left hand to your right knee, just kind of dialing the knee open. Entering the waves of sensation here. And allowing the breath with this fluid rhythm to slow the pace of your thoughts. So notice if your mind is less racing now. You can almost create a bit of distance between your thoughts and how you feel about them. That's the connectedness between left and right brain during this phase. So while the body might feel a bit heavy, it can be a time of more clarity in the mind. So can you create that distance between what you're feeling and how you respond or how you think about it? And as you're ready, let that go. Feet come down. Find your block now. And we'll take the block, place it between the knees. So kind of the long orientation so that you can grip it with the knees and the inner thighs. Just give it a bit of a squeeze here so that you create some tone in the legs. Let your arms float out to a cactus shape so you're nice and wide across the chest. Draw the low belly down to the earth. And keep that while expanding across the chest. So you have integration in the belly, but without collapsing in the shoulders. Big breath in. Slow breath out, squeeze the block. Keep that gentle squeeze. And begin to take the knees over to the right, down, and around to the left. So we're creating this big rainbow arc with the knees. Keep that gentle squeeze in the block. This is so soothing, so healing for the low back, just to create a bit of integration first by squeezing the block. And then we kind of massage the low back while integrating the abdominal muscles. Reverse the direction here, coming back the other way. So just arcing from side to side, however it feels good for you. So the key here is we're trying to massage the abdominal organs, the low back. So it feels less like core work and more like a massage, more like kind of just exploring the space of the belly. So you might have nice small circles, you might be a bit expansive, all the while creating integration by squeezing the block with your inner thighs, your inner knees. And then coming back through center as you're ready. We'll set up for revolved big toe pose. So the pose that we had before with one leg up, now we're going to take it to the side, but we're going to start in a side lying position. So come on to your left side, any way that is comfortable. So you can pillow your left elbow on the mat, and then take the block about to your hip points and move it out about an arm's width distance away. And then we're going to take the right knee, hug it into your chest, and place the the inner edge of your foot, the big toe side, onto the block. So you want to have a nice stable surface here. If you don't have the block, you can just take the foot to the floor or any surface. It can be a pillow or a cushion. And you might straighten the leg if that feels good. Press your left leg straight and strong, moving the sole of the foot away from you. And so we keep this nice long axis in the spine. As you're ready, keep the hips square. So keep this shape in the legs. It's your anchor. And without moving the hips, just allow your spine to rotate open. So you should start to feel that deep stretch. If you need to, you can bend the knee. Use your left thumb to dial the right hip crease down and away. So creating as much space as you can between the right armpit, right hip crease. We'll just be here a few breaths. This can be kind of a bit of an intense pose. So here you might really feel the outer legs speaking to you as we lengthen the IT band. This can be an excellent posture if you experience sciatica or low back pain. Just really creating some space, some awareness, and allowing the nerve endings, the joint to move more freely. So sometimes things can get a bit stuck. Last big breath here. Can you really expand the belly even as you twist? And then to come out, we'll just close the shape of the body. So come back onto your left side. Bend the right knee and release it out. We're going to switch sides now. So you can just turn to the other side. And I'll switch directions here for space. Coming now onto the right side. So creating that strong, stable foundation first. Strengthen your right leg. Keep it strong and pressing the sole of the foot away. Then hug your left knee into your chest. So the block again is at about your hip points, and then you stretch it out arm's length. Extend your left leg. Adjust the block if you need to. Come onto the big toe side of that left foot. And then hug some energy of the inner thighs to the midline. Can you rotate the inner thighs toward each other? Flex both feet, keep the legs strong, anchor the legs here. And then slowly begin to turn your upper body open. You might gaze over your left shoulder. So as best as you can, letting the shoulders relax without taking the hips along for the ride. So the more that you can anchor your hips and twist the body open, the more you'll feel this along the outer left leg. So riding the waves of sensation here. And notice as you twist, if you feel any gripping in the belly or the groin, can you soften all of that away? So really allow the belly to relax here to receive the twist. Often in twisting, we do want to contract the belly, but here we're just allowing it to soften so that we might create circulation, more space. Take your right thumb and press the left hip crease away. So lengthening from the left armpit down to the left hip. That might change the sensation in the left leg. We'll be here one more big breath. And let it go. Slowly release that leg. Come back through center. Grab your block. Take your block under the sacrum. So again, if you don't have a block, don't worry. We're just going to create a bit of a hip flexor stretch here. So take your right knee into your chest. Make sure that your block is stable and it's on the flat part of your spine so that the bone at the base of your spine. Extend your left leg long, press the sole of the foot away, and then anchor the left heel as you draw your right knee toward your body. Big breath in. Slow breath out. This just allows the hip flexors to lengthen, creates a bit of space in the hip joints. So switch sides, bring your right foot to the earth, hug your left knee into your chest, and then extend the right leg long. Really press through the right heel, anchor that right leg down, and you should, especially if you have the block, you should feel this along the hip flexor, maybe even into the psoas. So if you feel kind of a pull on the low back, that's the psoas. That's the muscle that connects the front of the hips to the lumbar spine. It's very hard to reach. It's quite readily engaged. So it's something we use in lots of movements throughout our day. Anytime we're flexing the hips, bringing the knee toward the body. But it's a bit challenging to get it to relax. So we're working toward that here. And then slowly let that go. Bend both knees and release your block. You can set your block off to the side. And we'll transition now onto the belly. Just for a few more deep stretches here. Coming into Sphinx pose. This is one of my all-time favorites, all points in the cycle, but particularly in the menstrual phase. So let your elbows be directly under your shoulders. Begin to circle the head in one direction and then the other. So seeing if you can soften the shoulders here. Let your head be heavy to release any tension in the neck. And then let your lower body anchor into the ground. So hip points to the tops of the feet. Really heavy. Gentle press in the forearms to send your heart forward. Maybe the chin lifts up and back down. And coming back through center here, you can take your arms out to a cactus shape and let your right knee come out to the side. So it's about level with the hip, 90 degrees. Bring your right ear to the mat. Just a prone twist here, letting your body relax into the earth. So these prone twists, very grounding energetically. You can feel the support of your whole body. You can really aim to press the right hip point down into the mat. Kind of access the hips from all sides now. Just letting the gravity do the work here. And we'll switch sides. So the left knee comes out to the side. Left ear can come down to the mat. Resting easy here. Again, moving the left hip point closer to the mat as best as you can. Can you feel the resistance of the ground beneath you as you inflate the lungs? It creates a bit of positive pressure there that your lungs have to grow stronger to give you that deep breath. And slowly coming through center. Pillow your hands underneath you. And rest your forehead there. Just allow the legs to windshield wiper side to side, freeing the low spine. And then as you're ready, we will transition now to a final resting pose. So if you are just resting on your back, you can move there now. And if you have a blanket and some blocks handy, we'll set up a supported shavasana, supported resting posture. So with your blanket, just roll it so that it's about the length of your spine, so that it's kind of a long cylinder here. And we'll take the blanket along the center of your mat behind you. And you can reach for your blocks, have them beside you. So a little bit of setup can pay off for an extra deep relaxation. So you want to sit close to the end of your blanket here so that it's touching the base of your spine. Then you can slowly lower onto the blanket. Your head can be resting on or off. If it's off, it's a bit of openness for the throat. The fifth chakra might help you with articulation and language. And if you have your blocks, bring the soles of your feet to touch and rest the blocks under your knees so that your hip flexors are not having to grip to hold this shape in the legs. So we're shifting into our final resting posture. So really scanning the body for a moment, finding any places where you can let go, any places you might still be holding. It's simply your body's way of keeping you safe. So can you create that dialogue with your body, allowing it to rest, letting it know that it's okay. And this posture, very soothing for some of the menstrual cramps you might be experiencing, those productive cramps that facilitate healthy flow. So can you meet them with equal parts of relaxation by opening the belly, opening the pelvic floor? We'll be here a minute or two more. Allow your eyes to close, allow your awareness to go wherever it needs to. If you find the mind begins to wander, just invite it back by noticing something about the body. And that's the easiest way to bring you back to the present. So as you continue to rest here, I hope that you'll stay as long as you can, as long as you need, and as long as you like. And I'll close our practice here today from this supine place, such that if you can stay longer. There's no need to rush out. Wherever you are, bring a hand to belly, hand to heart. And just feel a deep sense of gratitude, of celebration for having cared for your body today. And I want to thank you so much for letting your body be moved.